I would what say the CCO Studios team. We've got Law and Alex.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Thanks for having us on.
Of course. I feel like everything's
No,
working
you gotta
now.
hold up. All right, there we go. Cool. Sorry, we're doing. There's multiple buttons being pressed. This stuff is getting a little hectic, but we are all good. But how are y'all? How's the day going?
Good. Longtime viewer of Zora TV for the month it's existed, so excited to be on it. Love what you guys are doing.
Yeah, Jay's really been.
I had to look up Zora TV, and then I was amazed to see what I've been missing out on. Thanks for having me here, and thanks to Lol for inviting me to join him in this. Been a good day.
No, this
How are
is
you
sick.
guys?
I was psyched that the both of y'all were gonna join. So I feel like this is like the best part, maybe to start. But do y'all want to do a little background of like who we're talking to? Because I feel like both parts of CCO Studios are both sort of maybe one's I mean, are you both on the creative side? I know your background, Alex, is like in Pixar. I mean, then Lowell, it sounds like maybe you're more of like strategy, but I also could be so wrong. So I don't know if we want us to do a little background, some lore, let everyone know who you are.
No, that's good. Alex has got the more interesting background, cooler rap sheet, so I'll let him lead there, and then I'll give a little background on CC0
Thank
Studios.
you. Thank you, son. Real quick, I'm an animator. I used to work for Pixar Animation Studios. I was then started my own animation company, did some work for Warner Brothers, Looney Tunes show, and then did some, leadership roles on all kinds of international animation projects, including um, Klaus, also a movie that I don't know if a lot of people saw, but I co-directed Condorito. Is there anybody from Latin America here who knows Condorito? It's a classic comic strip from way back, 1950s even. And more recently, worked on Space Jam 2 as head of story and animation. But the last couple of years has been CC0 Studios, working with LOL. LOL found me, just plucked me out of, my kind of boring, old-fashioned filmmaking career, and he invited me into the world of MFer and of Are You Winning, Son? It was a fun story. Uh, we come back to the first project that we did, but lol, you talk about yourself.
Space Jam 2 doesn't sound boring, by the way. Just, just saying.
We'll wait till you see the Normal Mfer for season two.
Hell yeah. Um, yeah, Alex underplays himself, but he's a legend. You can see all the posters he's got in the background and stuff like that. It's been great working with him. Um, yeah, we met like tail end of the NFT cycle, last cycle. Um, there were like a bunch of things going on, things wound down. We ended up saying like we should make something that focuses more on story, less on JPEG. And I've sort of had this idea for a while of building a roller coaster before a souvenir shop, which is what it felt like a lot of NFT world was at the time. Buy my JPEG to fund this thing that I may or may not execute well on. So the goal of CC0 Studios and the Normal MFer being like the flagship IP is build this whole world, 10 episodes of a TV show, and then after the fact, say, okay, exit through gift shop. That might be the coining like meaningful things on Zora, which is what we're trying to do, or various sort of digital collectibles, depending on what people like doing on chain at the time. Um, we stuck with MFers just because that was the community that sort of resonated with me the most at the time. Um, Also conveniently easy to animate a stick figure. Sort of building out that world. The idea being the normal MFer is like the internet's everyman. So hopefully a lot of people can relate to it because they're just sitting on their screen on the computer watching this character doing the same thing.
How did you get into the MFers? Were you there for the mint and everything? I feel like they have like such a little
Yeah.
storied lore.
I was trying to, but then I ended up just buying on secondary, like right after the mint. I didn't end up getting into that. traded them for a while, and then has still been. I don't know. I just found them very fun and unique, and like the closest like punk community at the time. Then there's been other things that feel similar vibes, but these just sort of always stuck with me. Yeah,
No, it's definitely, it's like a fun, it is kind of like the perfect one to animate, like you were saying. Like it's been fun to watch all the animations because it's also cool. You'll share a lot of your storyboards as well. And so to see
yeah.
like
Oh yeah.
the step
That's really nice,
one,
yeah.
and then you can kind of see it go from this very like sort of stagnant animate or like stagnant drawing to then like animate it. And Alex, are you doing the animation?
I am actually. I'm actually right now. I'm kind of reviewing an animatic of episode 10, so I can share screen if you're interested and just show a little bit. Just not to ruin it, but this is a tool called Frame.io, which allows me to, as the supervising director, just run through an episode. Well, it's in super early form, just like you said, very still, very underdrawn sketches that show, um, what's supposed to happen in the screen. It
Let's.
has
Can we make sure that the screen sharing is showing just before we keep going? I
oh, sure,
just want to
sorry.
confirm that. Jay, what do you got there? Is it working? We good? Think we're good. Yep. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Um, so anyway, can you guys see my screen? It says it has like a sketch from sequence 3.
Yeah, we should be able to see it. It's like the cropping's a little funny. Next time I will have
Oh,
a screen share scene set up, but we're making it work.
okay. Sorry about that.
No, it's all
Is
good.
there
It's
any
all
way?
good.
Is there any way I can do it differently so it helps you?
No, no, I
It
just
looks good when you're
basically,
zoomed out.
yeah, this looks great. So if you keep it on this screen, and then I'm gonna hide some. There we go.
Sure.
You're good to go, Alex.
Okay, so basically this is the platform for me to watch the earliest version of the episode so that I can give notes. Um, Sometimes the notes are, like I would just put text in there to say let's lose this shot, let's extend the shot before. I might do even a sketch on the side there to show let's cut to a really wide shot to do stuff. And so um, I am not animating this one myself. I did animate the first proof of concept 3 minute Are You Winning Son short film. But when it was time to develop a like 10 times 11-minute series, then we needed a much bigger team than just me. We needed a studio with an animation team, 3 directors, and a bunch of writers as well. We did it pretty quickly, and so there was some experimentation going on in it. But I think the short of it is like I'll never stop drawing. A big part of my quality of life is that I get to work directly with lawl. I get to write, I get to draw, I get to work with everybody, and express through talking, editing, and through drawing myself. So it's a lot of fun.
Oh, that's sick though. You can start to see the motion when you kind of scroll through it like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, yeah. This literally has step by step, not just the shots, but also the kind of the dialogue. Occasionally we'd throw in a photo.
Everything you wanted, Dad. No. Not by a long shot. What? All you ever talk about is how you wanted to do this.
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, yeah, that's so sick.
Yeah. And this moment, this time is extraordinary. But
So one of the things I love about Normal Mfer is that, contrast to big commercial brand series, we have the comedy, but it's actually more emotional and sometimes weird than it is strictly, comedy forward. Really, what we're trying to do is tell a relationship story between MF and his dad, uh, pretty much expanding on the idea that started with "Are you winning, son?" That meme, the intergenerational stuff, the different, the gap between fathers, sons, mothers, daughters, and just generally exploring that in from MF's direction, but also from the dad's direction, which is how I connected to the idea of the show.
So wholesome.
Thanks.
At times, depending on what episode you're watching.
Uh-huh.
No, that is
So
real.
true.
I mean, because that's like the funny part about the. Hold on, I'm multitasking. I'm re-getting the scene set up, but I think that's like the funny part about the MFer is it does have this like endearing quality, but then it also has like the whole kind of like, fuck you, I'm here to cause trouble, I'm mischievous. It kind of gives me like Calvin and Hobbes energy, if that's like the right direction.
Absolutely, yeah. Like Calvin and Hobbes, MFer has a big gap between the way he sees the world and the way the world really is. A lot of stuff happens inside his imagination. It's a super kind of sometimes abstract show. We want to push that wherever we can. So, yeah, good point.
So how quickly? I mean, I guess maybe this is a question for you, Lowell. When did you realize like you wanted to sort of expand this IP of MFers and like sort of bring it to life? And what was the process? Did you have to convince the community, or I mean, with the CC0 Studios, it kind of you're like the ethos is much more of like these things are open. So what was the process going about just for like again bringing it to life?
Yeah, no convincing needed. I saw a lot of people sort of like tail end of NFT cycle trying to do things that are like decentralized Disney. I think like good shots on goal, but probably had the wrong model. Like you don't want a decentralized creation of things, like have 1,000 different writers in a Discord. That's not productive. But you can take things that are already sort of decentralized or in the public domain, and then with a centralized team curate and create from there. So the idea of the studio is like, oh man, all of these things, MFers, nouns, X copy, moonbirds at one point, then not, then again, then not. Like you could go and just like create things for these audiences who already have an incentive to champion you online. Like what, because they hold the NFT or there's a meme coin of one of the things now. I don't have to have been the creator of those things, but I can still pull um, from those first 100,000 true fans, because I know they'll like when I post something, they'll be on the YouTube liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. Be a lot harder to get buy-in from 10 people for Alex and Joe's Juice Shop TV show. Like no one would really care. Um, so the MFer is sort of the flag. Normal MFer is the flagship IP we're trying to build out, grow the subscriber base on YouTube and on other channels, and then we'll experiment with less capital intensive and shorter miniseries with the other CC0 IP. So next month we'll have a mini-series based on X Copy's God is Typing character. All of his work is in the public domain. And we're doing that with Kissing Party, who has done a couple things for Adult Swim. So it'll sort of feel like a bump from Adult Swim. If you ever like watch those 30-second
Sick.
things like around Robot Chicken time, it'll feel similar, and that'll go up on the channel. And over time, we'll slowly grow this library of public domain shows. Is the goal anyway.
That's honestly hearing Adult Swim and public domain in the same sentence is kind of rad. Just because I always felt, I mean, Adult Swim for me was like this like little vision into like this weird art world where like people were just making cool things and they offered so much experimentation. So it's really cool to hear. Obviously, I mean, it seems like you are trying to bring that energy back where it's like there's fun on the internet. There's probably like hopefully it's like fun, Alex, for you as well to have like more of this freedom to be moving freely as a creator and as like the animator. But one thing that's
Yeah,
like,
100%.
oh no, go
Sorry.
for it, go for it.
So yeah, I mean, coming from big budget films with Pixar, Warner Brothers, and Netflix productions, which are beautiful big swings, at a very specific goal with a very very broad audience. It comes with a lot of responsibilities and a lot of you know. The lack of freedom actually when it comes to experimentation. What was fantastic about Normal Mfer was the ability to say, let's throw stuff against the wall, let's try new things, let's try theories, let's be brave and make mistakes and correct them and have fun with them. The kind of the low stakes and homemade feel gave us the speed to move so much faster than high octane 3D animation, for feature films. It's been wonderful and free. Sometimes, if the animation team is super busy on one episode and we have to solve a big sequence in the next episode already, then our directors have the freedom to say, how about we shoot it live action? And then the next thing you know, spoiler alert, we're building these kind of beautiful costumes made out of cardboard of two giant robots fighting in the city, and then giving it some digital treatment in animation so that it doesn't, it's all shot live action. So that also brought about a lot of freedom to experiment with mixed media, stuff you can't do in most kinds of commercial animation.
I feel like you probably have a lot of room to, I mean, it's not, I feel like y'all have proven you have a lot of room to experiment with like the monetization and like the financing of these things. I mean, again, it's like MFer being an original PFP project, but then y'all have been around for the multitudes of different iterations. I think you have Zora. Like, I know y'all were here for the mints and you've done episodes, and now we're on this coin sort of era. I'm curious of how you have gone about making sure, or just experimenting with, again, just monetizing or financing or just playing with all of these new on-chain tools to have just as much freedom on the creative side as you do on the financing side.
Yeah, had been on Zora for a long time, ever since it was just like additions that you could mint, and we would put up a slightly less curated feed of what we were doing then. So pretty much any sketch or thing we would put on TikTok would go up there. When the coin got introduced, we wanted, like, that was exciting. It felt like we had been around long enough that it was okay to launch this creator coin, especially because there were no like lofty promises as to what it would be. This is the creator coin tied to these tokens. But then we wanted to kind of consider what we were coining. I kind of did not like the coin everything idea, although I understand that it's probably like, it's good for business, good for crypto, getting people using Zora, getting used to getting on chain. But for someone like trying to create slightly larger projects, I think it's good to be intentional and a bit more meaningful. So we've been approaching it with the idea of coining meaningful things. So that might be an original character sketch of MFer, which, that could be the normal MFer token if people want it to be. It could also just be something we decide to show on our Zora because that's where we decided to platform it. And then the creator token, we're trying to think of it more like sort of like this isn't exactly what it is, but like an airline mile. So if we do things in the future where we are like selling out an NFT collection to try to raise money to make a second season, there would be a discount if you hold the token and mint the NFT in the token. Or, and I've tweeted this, I think it would be smart to try to do like discounted merch purchases if you do it in a creator coin. I think like via Shopify. I don't know who's leading that, but someone should be on that. Yeah, it just feels like because we have proven that we're building things, there is some leeway in experimenting with some coins. Like, oh look, there's a TV show. It's not a promise of a TV show.
No, exactly. I think that's what's so cool is we've had so many different guests come on, and they have talked about like how much things have changed over this like the course of like 3 years, and like y'all have seen this as well. But even like the ability to like build utility into coins, like I remember it used to be like, to like do a burn to redeem. I mean, even Zora, like Corinne did the original zine, and that was like the burn to redeem, and it was like super, like the tech just wasn't caught up. And then now what's cool is I feel like we're at this point where it's like the tech is getting easier, even on the user experience for how somebody can even consume the CC0 Studios and the MFer episodes is so much easier than what it was 2 years ago. So even to like start to hear people like experimenting with the utility and to see people play with it on Zora has been really cool to see. Like we've had people do merch, we've had like New Yorkers, it's like this IG chat or IG page, and they're like, our top 3 holders will get like a story post and a shout out, and like people are figuring out how to build these, like they're figuring out how to innovate without having to promise, which I think is cool to see, especially with like the way even you were talking about like the creator coins, is it's like there's not the pressure that I think there used to be of like, here's our roadmap, here's 27 steps we have to hit, and then everyone's like, you haven't done, it's like, I don't know, like I feel like you're in a time where you can experiment on the creative side and the monetization side, which is like, I feel like CC0 Studios is one of the places that is like sort of pioneering this or pushing these boundaries. So it's really cool to see and to hear that. I mean, I know y'all are thinking about this, but it's cool to like hear, again, even some of these ideas that y'all have on the board.
You also
yeah,
said
that's
it. Saying it in a way of like airline miles is such an understandable format that I feel like a lot of people are just confused on how to use it. And I think the airline miles thing for Creator Coin makes a lot of sense. And I love to see that you're doing that.
Yeah, I mean, considering doing things like that, yeah. But what's also cool is like when we were like, okay, we're gonna launch the creator coin. It was like me as a collector or a fan of someone. Like my roommate showed me Childish Gambino like way before he was himself and big. Like I could see a world where if their coins existed, where it would have been cool to show support. I don't think that like behavior is enforced or even likely to be a thing. And if it does become a thing, I don't know how to know what platform will win that thing. It'll probably be multiple. But it's like I would have probably spent a quarter on one of his EPs. Like that kind of sounds so like a fun online experience to me.
No, for real. I feel like, I mean, we've talked about it. Honestly, y'all are probably one of the better people to talk to just in terms of like you're building this show for a community that already exists. But the thing with the coins is it sort of like opens up this like upside for fans through engagement versus it just being like, oh, here's a like, I saw this first. And so it's cool to start to see those connections start to be had. Like more and more people are like starting to get, it's like, oh, like, yeah, I remember when I followed this person, they had like 100 followers and now they're like huge. And to see people start to be like, oh, there's like this upside for me to like want to root for my favorite to win.
Yeah, it's a cool place to be creating.
So how did you find Alex? Because in the intro, Alex is like, he picked me out of the ether.
Do you want me to tell the story, Alex? Is that fine?
Absolutely,
Okay.
yeah. I'm happy you kept this till now. Didn't forget.
Yeah, it is a good one. So I was like actively trading NFTs at the time, and one of the things was that someone was trying to do like a decentralized movie studio. So you minted these passes, and it was like a lot of, like I was saying, a lot of expectations being set that ended up not being met, or even like really couldn't feasibly be met. But I was buying some of those passes, learned about Alex. That the guy who was leading that turned out to not, have intentions to finish it. So we met because we got rugged, and then we started talking, and we're like, we should do something that is meaningful. And then we did this like 3-minute mini short film, which we did a premiere with a lot of MFers that came to NFT NYC like 3 years ago, maybe at this point. Um, like a mini makeshift art gallery type thing. Um, People received it well, and so I said, all right, then make the whole TV show. That's like something I've always wanted to do. Moved out to Chicago, did all the Chicago comedy stuff, and it felt like an area where I knew someone who was talented enough to execute it. There was a proof of concept, and people liked the short film. And there's like some edge in being to crypto creation early, so it felt like a good shot on goal for me to take specifically, and found a good partner too.
So basically, I'm still paying lawl back for the rug burns.
Yeah, it's a guilt trip, really.
Bro, that's so United through a rug is such a real one, especially in those times. Like there was so much like crazy shit people were like doing, like here's a mint pass for this, like we're gonna redo like Six Flags or some shit, and you're like, that's cool. And then next thing you know, you're like, fuck. Of course that wasn't gonna happen. Like I was just so excited because I was in all like the DAO stuff as well. So it was like a DAO for this, a DAO for that, a DAO to take over the world, and it's like eventually all my DAOs went to zero. So I was like, well, this was cool, but it is the friends we meet along the way.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, exactly.
And lol's definitely helping clean up my name, my reputation in Web3.
No, you were good.
on-chain.
Yeah, I imagine you're a-okay. From this conversation, I don't know. You seem like a pretty stand-up guy.
It was good.
Thank you. I should tell my wife to listen in as well.
You're like, this streamer said I'm a stand-up guy. He's trustworthy. Trust me.
Yeah.
Do y'all still feel like you're early? You mentioned being early to like the sort of crypto native creating realm. I'm curious how y'all are feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like Thread guy posted like the price of crypto media went up with like Kobe's at like NFT sale. It's very living in the moment. But it's like only in this space that weird high upside outcomes like that have happened that I have seen. Um, and so I feel like people will keep coming here the more strange home run like people will see that home run and they'll go, I gotta be there. And then if we're building this foundation of like, here's all of this content, all of this crypto content, I think it's like a good, I don't know, I think eventually we'll hit gold in some capacity, even if that's just like peak froth, new crypto cycle. Some guy comes in and is just like, I'm interested in this now. Ooh, you already have something. I think that's like, we'll sell it to you then, or we just keep going until something good happens.
No, I mean, you just keep taking shots on goal, but then you're all in the sea of vaporware. There's just going to be the lone Mfer standing on the rock, waiting, with his empire beneath him.
That's a good idea for an episode.
The Kobe thing is crazy. What are you like actually from again somebody within this world? What are y'all's take on? That's like it was fucking crazy.
Yeah, knowing that Coinbase also did the Echo deal, it feels like they were probably one of the only companies with the budget to do something like that, and then they made it a great marketing stunt too. So like a fan of the move. Yeah, I hope there are other people that want to do similar things. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't have to be that big, but hit us up.
Real. But it is a cool indicator, like you were saying, just for the space in general. It's like people starting, I think, to value and like to look at the quality content that's here. Because I think sometimes, it's like with the crypto, it's like, how do you get more new people in? But it's like, there's the balance. Like there's people pushing incredible products and projects who have been here and are still here working today. That compete with just as many of the other projects that like aren't really in the space. Granted, like the in and the out of where the space is getting murkier and murkier every day, just with how much easier it's getting to use, which is kind of fun. But yeah, the signal, I was like, okay, interesting, very interesting.
Yeah, it's like they entertained us for a day, if nothing else. Like you got, I don't know, they were aura farming a bit, but with some actual output. And now they got eight whole episodes. Who knows what happens then? So it's not dead.
I am wondering if you have 8 episodes plus production costs, like if they're just gonna go crazy, bro. Like just like spectacles. You know what I mean? Like some like Kai Cenat style craziness.
No clue. I have no clue what they planned. I don't know. They were like on some offsite. Someone was tweeting that, and it was like, I could only think like AWS went down, and so the whole marketing team was like, we got to do something. So they just went and bought an NFT.
They went and bought an NFT for what, 25 million?
Yeah.
Chump change.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I guess we're kind of getting in time, but one of the questions I was thinking about too is how quick are y'all able to iterate? Like how quick do y'all go from sketch to storyboard to, I guess, completed episode? Because it sounds like y'all have a pretty involved team. I mean, you have like the sound overlays, you have, I say, like what, you said a couple more animators, like.
Yeah, it's about, so I think that the life cycle of an episode, which is, 10 to 11 minutes, is, we start with a script. We have the whole scripting stage happens like in the first 3-4 months. But once an episode is approved in script, it goes to the director's hands, where the director draws the storyboards. First, there's really rough thumbnails, and that takes about 6 weeks, including the editing, all those storyboards into video with temporary sounds. Sometimes we start recording the actors early enough that you can get it into get their actual voices into the animatic. 4 weeks to animate each episode. Another couple of weeks to color and finesse, mouth animation, and then a couple of weeks of sound and post production, which means all the cool visual effects and captions, text if we use it in there. So I don't know, is it like 2.5, 3 months life cycle? And we usually stagger them so that each team jumps from one project to the next. I mean, one episode to the next, like a waterfall. So pretty boring stuff when you look at the spreadsheet, but the material itself is really fun. It's pretty, and it's stressful. I mean, we're pushing really hard to get them out on time, but you have super eager young animators with their first opportunity working on something so full of heart, and with experienced animators getting to learn from other people. So it's a great community.
I would say it's not that am I doing the math and it's like, you've got like 11 times 6 and there's only so many hours in the day. I was like, y'all are cranking to get these episodes out.
Yeah, there's a lot of hurry up and wait because stuff has to be approved, and then you were asking about iterating, and luckily we well, it was kind of by design compared to really expensive 3D animation that costs a lot of money to change anything. In this kind of animation, it's until pretty late in the game, let's say 2 weeks before the end of the animation process, we can go back and change quite a lot, right? We can definitely reanimate some stuff quite easily before the episode is locked. So it's pretty forgiving. That's the part of the style of the show.
Yeah, that's still kind of nuts. I'm just like, bro. I'm like, oh, producing these like 2-hour episodes or whatever live, and I'm like, I can't imagine the coordination for all of this. But
we have very talented producers.
no
Definitely super
doubt.
talented. A
I
lot
feel
of
like
great talent.
the whole team's just kind of stacked, like low key from top to bottom. It sounds like y'all have a very what's the saying? What's like
Let's say.
I don't know. Like
But honestly, surrounding yourself with such a talented and good team does give you that freedom to create in a better way, I think. So it's pretty incredible that you have that.
Thank you.
before we
We're
go,
having
do y'all have any advice for anyone who's like looking into starting this, whether they're an animator or just like someone looking to bring a content series, whether on chain or just into the world? I feel like this is like some like professional hours, so I always love to get some advice wherever we can.
Specific for this, maybe starting an animation or artist career is more Alex's domain. But if there's anyone listening who's an animator or they're like, I want to create crypto native or CC0 animation stories, like we're growing a platform for you. And so I'd love to chat with people who want to have a larger audience. Yeah.
And on the professional side, that part of my career path isn't just sort of doing projects as a creator or director. I also mentor. And so if people want to reach out with questions, if they want to show me drawings and want to get notes on drawings, I welcome everybody to show me your stuff, and happy to give feedback and talk about how to develop themselves to the next level.
Mentors are so important. So that's really kind. People should reach out.
No, for real. And then before we go, I have y'all's handles up, but where can people keep up with all things CC0 and MFers and what y'all are up to?
Yeah, we're at CC0 Studios on YouTube, which is where it's, I think, the easiest to binge things. You can just send people playlists. CC0 Studios on Zora. We're at MFer on TikTok. We got that handle, so excited about that. And then on on Twitter, I mean, that you can probably find us on, if you're watching this, you're probably on Twitter right now. So at 0xlaw, Alex Orrelle, CC0 Studios, at CC0_Studios, and Normal Mfer _.
Love. Jay just sent.
I know. I was
The
deep
links to
in
the chat.
links.
Oh, dope.
And for
Okay, great.
everybody watching, it's $CC0_Studios. That's for everyone who's always asking, what's the ticker? That's the ticker. So,
There you go.
well, sick. Well, thank y'all again so much for coming on. I was like super hyped when D threw us in a group chat and y'all were down. Because like I said, it's been like, it's just anytime we could talk to people with some Zora lore, the on-chain lore, and just the backgrounds that y'all have, it's always a treat. So super
Hell yeah.
excited. It's been a great little chat. I'm sure we'll see you around. And if you're watching on Twitter and Twitch and Zora, keep your eyes, turn on notifications for CC0 Studios so you never miss an episode. So, well, we're gonna get going. We're gonna switch to a commercial and then we'll get the second guest up here and get going. So, all right.
Sweet.
Thanks,
Thank you both.
guys.
Thank you.